Hi Scrappy peeps! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing with you a process video to accompany my blog post for the Spiegelmom Scraps blog hop. It's my first project that I'm sharing with Spiegelmom Scraps. I am using a collection from Cocoa Vanilla Studio to create a giant sequins pocket for the background of my layout about myself. I have this giant heart that I had used or saved from a previous project and used it to just draw the outline of where I am going to cut with my X-Acto blade. I wanted to be able to use both sides of this piece of pattern paper, and I'm just going to take the left side of the heart and fold that over in order to create the full heart right and left, and that open space that I created will be where the sequins pocket is going to go. So I then trace the same outline from the left-hand side of the heart onto a old page protector. These are page protectors that I think are for post-bound albums that I don't use anymore, and so I've just decided to use that because I needed something that was big enough to go with the 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper. So I just cut that down to size, and now I need to take a pen and outline that size that I want in order to be able to create the pocket, so that I could have just left it rectangular behind the piece of pattern paper, and in fact that was my original intent right there, but I didn't want to lose the sequins behind the piece of pattern paper and have any of that be stuck behind that particular piece of pattern paper and then leave the indentation or the imprint on the pattern paper when it was in my album. So not sure. Oh, I decided to get a Sharpie. I was going to try and do it with a pencil, but I get a Sharpie and just go through the outline of that on the left-hand side so that I know where to sew. And actually what you're not going to see is that I do head upstairs because my sewing machine is upstairs, and I stitch the outline of that heart so that I create just a smaller pocket and don't lose any of the sequins behind, as I mentioned earlier. What I did learn in this process was I would have been much better off if I had actually used my fuse. I was very impatient and didn't want to wait for my fuse to warm up, so I went upstairs and used the sewing machine. However, in the process, I forgot to drop the foot dogs of my sewing machine, and so the foot actually scratched the pocket of the heart. You can't really see it because it's sitting in the same line as the pattern paper is, but next time, lesson be learned that the fuse would work much better for this. So I want to anchor this giant pocket between the pattern paper and the cardstock that I'm using to fill the hole so that you can see the sequence. And so I just used double-sided sticky tape, and I put that down and adhered the pocket. Only unfortunately, the first time I put it down, I put it so that you could see where I had put the black Sharpie line. So I just repositioned it, and there is that awesome giant pocket for my sequence. And my original intent for the fold over half of the heart was to sort of drape it over. I had thought of putting a cotton ball so that it left a nice rounded edge, but what I realized is that this is ultimately going to end up in a scrapbook album between page protectors and is going to get squashed anyway, so why struggle with how I was going to drape it and just fold it over instead. So I went back upstairs and I stitched around the outside of the layout. I used that reddish color just to give a little added contrast between the yellow and the red that's in the heart. So you can see where I kind of fuss with how far up I really want the right hand folded edge of that heart to be, and just decide there to flatten it down and go with that. Originally, I had 3 pictures of myself that I was going to use, and they were going to go all the way across the bottom. The problem with the 3 of them is that you lose the integrity of the heart, the bottom of the heart, and I thought that two pictures were fine, as 2 of them looked very similar anyway. So I decided that I wanted to use some Shimmerz. So in addition to Sequins, Jody has a bunch of other fun things in her shop, and Shimmerz products are some of them. So I watered down some of my Ruby Spirtz, and I just chose to highlight a few of the words that were in the background pattern paper to, as this was a layout about me, these were things that just sort of stood out to me. I also wanted to add some added color to the page. So that actually dried really quickly, and I was able to continue. What I skipped over there and you didn't need to see is the pictures I didn't have a white backing on, so I just used my trimmer and some white cardstock to put little small white frames around the pictures. And I'm still working with 3 pictures here, and it's actually not that bad, but I do really like it better with 2, as you can see much more of the effect of the shaker pocket and the heart. And I've pulled out the wood veneer from the collection to come up with a title. I was originally going to do something other than you, and then I thought that I would do you at 44. 43, I don't know how old I am, 40 something, but I didn't want to cover too much of the shaker pocket because I really like the effect of all of those fun sequins sliding about in the page. I did use a glassine bag. Jody also has glassine bags in the shop, and I put that behind the picture. I found this flower in one of the cut apart cards from the collection, and I wanted to fussy cut that as well and add some more of a dimensional effect along with the sequins pocket and the heart. And I just sort of played around with some other things. Originally I wanted to use that red heart, pink heart that was in the fold apart cards, but I thought the one big heart was enough and it really didn't need another one of the larger size. So here I am fussing with the bag. I decided to fold it, and again, I like dimension on my layouts, and so this gave a little bit more dimension. And I used another one of the cut apart cards to just back some of the pictures. There isn't a lot of layering here because I really wanted the emphasis to be on that large heart with the sequins pocket. So I do put some small layers behind some of the pictures, and this is where I decide that 2 is probably better than 3, and it allows you to see that other bit of red popping up on the other side as well. And I go with this floral for another backing layer that is going to encompass both pictures in order to tie the 2 together. I do put some craft foam behind in order to, again, add some more pop to that picture. I've seen this craft foam all over the place lately. A lot of YouTube process videos seem to entail the use of craft foam to pop something or another up off the pages. So I've just decided, playing with the placement of where I'm going to cut that floral, how much of it I want to show. And so we stick that down, and the craft foam actually goes behind that floral piece of pattern paper. Because of the folds in the heart to create the sequins pocket, I needed some of that dimension in order to still be able to see the dimension of the giant sequins pocket. So I had that little pop of pink, and I needed that at the bottom of the picture to really just define that edge from the bottom of the heart in the pictures, because it all sort of started to look like one big mess that sort of melded together. To the right of the layout there, you can see the sequins pocket or sequins mix that I used. It's called Free Spirit. It is a new collection that Jody is releasing, and it was created to go with this particular collection. In fact, you can use it for anything that you want, but she really pulled the prime colors from this collection, and it pops so well against that mustardy yellow cardstock that I used to create the sequins pocket. This process video is a video that I created to accompany my project for the blog hop. The hopping will actually happen from blog to blog of each of the new sparklers. There are several of us that are new to the team, and there are a couple that are returning from the previous year. Jody has broken the team down to 3 different teams this year. There's an Instagram team, a YouTube team, and a blog team. I will be part of the YouTube team, so you can join us here and on the Spiegelmom Scraps YouTube channel for future process videos, technique videos, and other tutorial type things showing you how to use products that Jody sells in the store. So Shimmerz are new to me. These are that white piece of paper. It was actually just a random piece of cardstock that I was using at the time that I had gotten all of my new goodies, and so I had just wanted to see the color of each of the things that I got, and I used that as my swatch to decide which of the blue colors I wanted to use that best complemented this collection. And I went with the Vibez blue jeans and just put a couple of hints of blue around where I had the red painting. And again, I just wanted that blue and the red to tie in with the pattern paper, because you already see that big swath of yellow in the left-hand side of the heart and then in the background paper. So I had seen this card and I really liked the sentiment on it, and I thought it was perfect for an all about me layout. It says, "When you love what you have everything you need." Life is pretty good right now, and I really can't complain, so I just wanted to use that rather than journal about me on the layout specifically. I will journal on the back, and so I cut that out because while I like the sentiment, I didn't like it in another square format with the more rectangular shaped pictures, and I was careful how I cut it out of the frame because I thought I could use the frame again in another layout. So I just fussy cut that down, and we'll adhere those down, and we are going to call that good for this layout. So from here, Christy is the next person in the hop. So from here, you won't actually be hopping to her YouTube channel, but you will be hopping to her blog, and I'm sure Christy probably has a video to share with you. I actually had thought that I might use some sequins up there, but I decided not to. It's busy enough that we're just going to call that good. So here's a couple of close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today.